right, so first I'm going to disconnect the intake on both sides. Since these are aftermarket, it may be different, but these are a 6 mil. All right, next I'll be disconnecting this mass airflow sensor. There is a little gray button on the bottom. Push it, wiggle, comes loose. Now this is mostly out of the way. Since this one is flipped upside down, there'll be a little bit of a better view. So push in, pull back, push in again, and wiggle it off. That's pretty easy. Now the intake is out of the way on both sides. All right, so we're back on the passenger side. This reservoir has to come off from this bolt. This is a T25. All right, now that's out of the way. Back to the driver's side, this reservoir has to come off. There are two 10 mil bolts that hold it in place. All right, so I've already done this on the passenger side, but I have to do this on the driver's side as well. So I'm recording this side. I have to disconnect this ECU. So I'm gonna call this plug 1. You pull up on this top part, kind of got to wiggle it a little bit. Pull up, and the first one comes disconnected. I'm gonna call this top one 2 and this bottom one 3. They are virtually the same. You push in on each side. Was a bit of a challenge, so we'll see how this side goes. All right, there's 2. And then I'm calling this little one at the bottom 3. It's the same thing, push in on each side. Might have to use my pick for this one. You can't really see because this other one's in the way, but pushing in on this side, pushing in on this side, and wiggling. And there's that one. Okay, so both of those are out of the way. These are much easier. Push in on this little bump, the lock. There's this handle. You slide the handle all the way over, comes off. And since these 3 are very, very similar, I am going to mark them 4, 5, 6 like I did the other side. Same thing on this one. Push in on the little bump, that's the lock. Slide the handle over, it comes off. All right, here's the last one. It's probably very hard to see it, but it's the same process as the past 2. Push in on the lock, slide the handle, it pops off. All right, the ECU itself is just snap to a bracket. You just literally pop it off. All right, so this will be for both sides. So behind the ECU and these 2 cutouts are 2 Torx bolts. There's 2 on each side in the exact same place. I'm going to take those out. And since the bolt earlier was a T25, I'm going to make an assumption right now that these will be the same. No, they're a little bigger, probably a 30. It is indeed a 30. All right, now that I've got both of those out, okay, so next I'll have to disconnect this ground right here below my finger. All right, I'll just get it with a wrench. All right, that's off. This O2 sensor slides in this little part right here. I've already disconnected that. I'm going to go to the passenger side and do the exact same thing. Okay, now in theory, the brace that runs across there should come out. There's one more more spot where the O2 sensor runs. You just unclip that. I'm sure it's the same on this side. Yeah, just unclip. All right, braces out. All right, in theory, this should pop up like that. All right, that's disconnected. Should be able to use this pick and pull them out. All right, there's one coil pack. Only 7 more to go. I'm going to lay them out in the order in which I took them out. I've got this thin-walled 14 on an extension. It swivels. All right, that is pretty rough. All right, I have the new spark plug right here. I put a little bit of dielectric grease on it. All right, it's in hand tight. I've got the new coil pack. I'm gonna put that on. It's already got some grease in it already, so I'm not gonna put any dielectric grease on there. All right, that's seated in. I got the coil pack connector back installed. It locks in place when you close this. So moving on to right here, which is really hard to see. Same thing. That flips up. That pulls out. Continuous steady force. This one's out now. All right, there's that one. Same shape as the other one. Pour, same thing. I put a little bit of dielectric grease on there. Second one done. That one wasn't as difficult. That one is also in a very poor condition. After I'm done, I'm going to lay these all out together and we'll see what the difference is between them. All right, those three are done. I have to move the ECU and everything in order to get to the last one on this side. All right, so the last one on this side is right here. It's going to be a little bit more of a challenge possibly to get to. I don't know, we'll see. The top of that one almost wanted to break. I'm glad that it didn't. That would have been a pickle. All right, that one is also in a poor shape. All right, that one is also in a poor shape. All right, this side is done. All right, same thing over here. I'm gonna kind of time lapse myself through it because it's the exact same process on these four as it is the other four. If anything changes, I'll slow it down. Oh, I guess I have to take the old one out before I put the new one in, huh? That's dumb of me. In my defense, it's hot and I am also tired. Whoever done these last time did not get them close to torque spec. That is for sure. This one in a very poor shape. I don't know if you can see that. Let's see. Look at all that. It will be interesting to lay these all out together. This one is in a very poor condition. I don't know how well you can see that, but it is not great. It is making things a little bit difficult for me. Continuous upward momentum. Done the trick. All right, last one. Not great. None of them have been that great. All right, they're all done. Now I get to put all of this back together. All right, the aftermath looks a little bit like a crime scene, and I'm going to take care of that. I'm going to start on the driver's side. I have put the bridge, brace, whatever you want to call it, back on, bolted it down, and connected the ground on this side that I took off earlier. That's where I'm starting from. And I have to adjust that ground just a little bit in order to get the ECU back in position. All right, ECU is back in position. Now to get all of these back in position. Six, 5, and 4 are in. You ever seen that meme where it's like German engineering and it's an engine bay full of wires? Yeah, that's how I feel right now. Yeah, very relatable. 3 is in. 2 is in. One is back in. Golf clap. Now to hook back up the mass airflow. All right, driver's side is put back together. I'm going to reconnect the ground on this side. Now I'll put the ECU back in place. ECU is back in place. All right, now I'll reconnect the connectors for the ECU on this side. I've already connected the smaller one on the bottom below this one, so I've connected 3. There's 2, and there is 1. This reservoir snaps in here. It has 1 Torx that goes at the top, which was a T25. Here's this mass airflow sensor. Did it go like this? All right. Let me make sure that this is all lined up before I snug it down too much. And it wasn't. That's all snug down. It's not going anywhere. So everything is back together except for I haven't put the engine cover back on. I have no extra parts, no extra pieces, which is always a good thing. Gonna go back over, make sure I don't have any wires that aren't connected. I didn't disconnect anything else, but I always check when I'm disconnecting a lot of stuff. I will rerun this O2 sensor wire where it goes. Looks like that's it. All right, I said I would show a comparison of everything after I took it all out. So this would be the driver's side, this would be the passenger side. Driver's side. Passenger side. One side is definitely running richer than the other. All right, that is it for today. I hope you have found this video helpful. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments down below. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Until next time, later.